Carolinas a day after blowing ashore with 90-mile-an-hour winds. The storm practically parking itself all day long, inching westward at just 2 miles per hour, not even as fast as a person walking. Florence so far dumping 2 feet of rain in some places, and forecasters are predicting another 1.5 feet could fall when all is said and done. The torrential rains causing rivers to rise to record levels, prompting increasing fears of catastrophic flooding across the region. The Marines, the Coast Guard, FEMA, and civilian crews are using helicopters, boats, and heavy-duty vehicles to rescue scores of people trapped in fast-moving floodwaters. So far, at least 11 people have died as a result of the storm. Nearly 1 million people are without power. I'm John Scott. Now back to Life, Liberty, and Levin.
So, John Voight, the Vietnam War had a big impact on you. You went from being a leftist, basically, to a conservative, to a Trump supporter, right?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just going back to that moment, in time, I look back on that moment when I realized that we were responsible for all that bloodshed, that the people in the streets really had that kind of power. And I feel, and I've said this to people, I've said, I have blood on my hands from that. I understand. That was a moment in time when I was out of line, and I had to make up so much, And I feel that, I feel that way. So I'm not going back to that. And today, I've come a long way, and I've had a lot of fun, I must say. One of the great joys of my life is my relationship to the military. And patriotism brings you many beautiful friends. I'm very close to the first responders of 9/11, and so I'm a person at peace. So when people come at me from my own area of the world and say those things that maybe I would have said way back, I understand them completely. I feel sorry. I feel sad for them, and sad for us. And I know that we have to keep focus and keep battling for what is true. And this is and things will change because the truth will prevail.
So how did you become a early Trump supporter? What did you see in candidate Trump?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. First of all, there were 17 guys with him, right? They were all very top fellas, bright, very bright fellas, very capable. And I don't know if there's ever been such a legion of very, very good, righteous folks on this one stage together. But I looked at the world and what was left after the past years, and the world was in chaos. Terrorism had swept across the world. Because the cat was away, the big cat of the United States had been sidelined, the rats were at play. And so you had North Korea making these gestures to endanger their neighbors. You had Iran sponsoring terrorism across the globe with Hezbollah and Hamas and their other, and we had the situation in Syria where we watched without responding to 500,000 people being murdered in Syria. So it was this, you needed someone who had tremendous strength and someone who could see clearly now what the damage was that was going on and what had to be addressed. And you needed somebody who was a doer, somebody who solved problems, who got up in the morning to solve problems, right? And many of them at that stage were like that. And then on the home front, we had terrible joblessness, a failing economy, a civil war, really, too. so much going on. So I'm looking. I'm like a casting director in a film. I'm looking. Who's the guy that could handle this, right? And as I watched, and I saw what Donald Trump was pointing to, and the courage, maybe not courage, just clarity. This immigration situation, which had to be addressed and it wasn't addressed for years. And by the way, all this tumult that they're trying to create, if you listen to Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, they said the same things about immigration. He's getting blamed. They're trying to make him a racist for saying the exact same things, right? But the difference with Donald Trump and those folks, he's going to do something about it. And as I saw him, focusing on like just the clear common sense of our trade deals and our dealings with it, he said, we're going to have politicians sitting down with these people negotiating treaties. This was an eye-opener for me because, yeah, of course they've negotiated nothing. They begged for money, but they haven't negotiated anything. They're not tough negotiators. They're not card players. They don't see what's going on the other side of the table. That kind of thing, right? So I know, yeah, that's right. You have in China, they have these chess players, the very best chess players in the world, ready to make deals that would affect 100 years hence. I mean, you've got real big guys up there. You better have the right people at the other side of the table. All these things, they made sense to me. Do you know what I'm saying? And the more he talked, the more I saw what was going on. And the other thing the two other things. One was he was happy in a battle. If somebody came at him, he was happy to respond in kind. It took no energy from him. And we had seen, the attacks against George Bush, Mitt Romney, Sarah Palin, all of these lies and slanders that covered them and defeated them in the end.
Now, when we come back, I want your second point. You said there's 2 points.
Yeah, there's 2 points.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, check us out at Levin TV. Go to crtv.com/Mark, crtv.com/TV. We'd love to have you join us over there. We'll be right back.